For the 360, I want to break down a movement called the Turkish get-up. You might know this movement if you've done kind of gym exercise classes or other body weight strengthening classes. This movement is not usually incorporated into a yoga class, but it is a really functional, nearly full body exercise that could be easily incorporated into an asana class. I'll go through each of the positions of this series of movements in order to better understand the movement as a whole, because it's pretty complex. There's a lot of different things going on. The sequence starts standing with one arm lifted overhead. Now, this shoulder is in full flexion, and if you are using any kind of weight, it's in the hand of the arm that is lifted. The trick is to have this arm continuously reaching straight up even as your body changes positions. So this arm is always going to be reaching up toward the ceiling. Then from here, you'll step back with the opposite leg and kneel down. This is essentially a lunge position. So this is going to be good for the strength of the front leg, particularly the quadriceps and the glutes, the gluteus maximus of the front leg. Lunging is one of the most functional movements of the body because it uses really big muscles in the legs and it takes the hips and knees through a safe range of motion. So this is a really useful position for the body. Then we're going to lean to the side and onto the opposite hand. Now here, you're stabilizing the spine using the muscles of the abdomen, particularly if the left arm is lifted, then these are your left side oblique muscles as you lean onto the right arm. The goal here is to bring enough weight onto the hand on the floor while keeping weight in the front leg, and then be able to sweep the back leg through the arm and the leg. So this is going to use abdominal strength. It's going to put more weight in the lower arm, so building strength through the shoulder and the arm muscles. And then it's going to use kind of the quadriceps of the back leg to straighten the knee as I kick it through. And it will also use the hip flexors to get the leg straight forward. On top of all of that, there's a lot of coordination in this movement. And so the leg is going to kick through, and then we're going to come to a seated position. By now, you've been lifting the left arm on this side overhead for quite some time. So the deltoid and the triceps in particular are going to start to be a bit fatigued. And then this is the tricky point when it comes to the balance of that lifted arm. Because as we lie back onto the back, the arm is going to move from fully flexed to half flexed. The shoulder will move from fully flexed to half flexed. The controlled lying back is also going to use a lot of rectus abdominis strength and even hip flexor strength. And then those same muscles are going to be immediately used again to sit back up like a sit-up. And now here again, the shoulder changed position back to fully flexed. That transition all the way down to the floor is the crucial movement for the shoulder. But also, once we're sitting in this position, instead of using the rectus abdominis to get us up from the floor, now we're using the muscles in the back, the spinal erectors in particular, to kind of straighten out the spine. So the engagement shifts from the front of the body to the back of the body. Then from here, we're again going to lean some weight onto the hand in order to sweep the leg back and kneel. This is again shifting the body weight around, so it's really good for stability and control, shifting the body weight and this point of stability between the arm, the leg, one arm, one leg, etc. And then we stabilize the upper body even more by kind of leaning to the left to get our spine upright in orientation to the floor. So this is going to use the obliques in the abdomen once again. And then the final position is to stand all the way up. So this completes the lunge that we started right at the beginning of the movement. builds strength through the quadriceps and the glutes and also the hip rotators. And then depending on where you're moving from here, you continue to keep the deltoid and the tricep of the lifted arm engaged if you just repeat on the same side. So there's never really a rest for that lifted arm. So let's just talk through the movements. Movement 1, stepping back in kneeling. 2, placing the hand down. 3, kicking the leg through and sitting. 4, lying down. 5, sitting back up. 6, sweeping the leg back and kneeling. 7, kneeling. And 8, standing up. Now, you can start to do these in sets of 5 or 10, or even maybe more on one side. Maybe start to work up to, 50 repetitions, maybe even more, but start small, 20 repetitions total, maybe 30, and gradually start to build this strength and stability through your body. So these are the movements of the Turkish get-up.